as the title says, continuing on with the dungeon generation we were doing a couple streams ago. So let me switch over. Alright. So right off the bat, I did make some changes off camera. I will quickly run through those. There's nothing major, mostly accommodating for a different starting X and Y position. So rather than starting at 0, we're starting at the start X and start Y, which would allow us to start in any position and then build from that. And the only thing that did change with that would be this stuff. Basically, the room width for all these functions becomes the room width from here plus the start X, and the room height becomes the room height from here plus the starting Y. That was all that changed. All these functions got to stay the same. And then, as I was refactoring, I realized that the build dungeon was holding all of this code. And that's not right, because we don't want our dungeon to just be one room. So I added a minimum room number and a maximum room variable to the build dungeon function, and then moved everything down into this build room function. So it still does the exact same thing, except now it's in its own self-contained function that we can continue to call. The other thing is build room also has an int room number variable that is just sent from here. So 1, and then the maximum being the random between minimum and max. And what I plan on doing with that is an ID system and checking, okay, where was our starting room and what's our last room kind of thing. And then along with that, in the build dungeon function, I'm just storing the starting variables, start X and the start Y, as a public accessible variable, same as room height and room width, so that those can be accessed from outside of the buildy thing, from outside the library. Forgot the word about library there. So minimum room's 1, and we'll do maximum room's 1 for right now. And that's what that is. I also did off camera add in the enumerated tile list and changed it over to be character. I think I did that in the episode. But I added the enumerated tile list so that it's just easier. I know that I'm assigning these. I don't really have to think about it when I'm reading it this way. And then if I have to look at what one is, I can hover over it real quick. So just easier reading the code for myself, more so than anything. Okay. And the rest of it, so you can see here, this is my starting X, starting Y values. And start Y. That's a handy little trick I learned, the named constants, or named parameters, so you can define them in any order as long as they're named. So I like that. But it also helps for sort of readability in this sense. So these are our starting X, starting Y values. You can see right now they're at 5, 5. Because we're only doing one room, there's no point in doing that. But to show that it does work, and I'm hoping it still works since I changed over some code. Fingers crossed. Okay. So it still works the exact same way it does when we left it. You can see corner, 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 wall, 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 and then our floors. So exactly how it worked before. Awesome. Didn't break anything. I'll be honest, that was the first time I had run it since changing since changing the function over to be down here and run like this. Okay. So one thing I want to do right off the bat is I'm going to make minimum rooms default 1, have a default value of 1. Oh, right. It has to appear after all other parameters. Forgot about that. So we'll put the rooms last, just for my own organization. There we go. Just like that. And then put a comma there. Awesome. So here then we'll say min rooms. Min room. Min rooms. Oh, I bet because it's a... Okay. We'll just do this. We'll just move it to the end like we did here. 1, 1. There we go. So that satisfies it. Okay. So that's that. So now really I don't even have to put this last 1 because it's going to default to 1. So we can see that that'll work the exact same way. We'll only get 1 room and it doesn't break anything. But we'll put it there just so that we know as we're looking at it. Do that. There we go. So now I can kind of see my parameters in a way that makes sense. Actually, there we go. And I'll just say min max width and min max. I don't know what I'm typing. Height. There we go. Just so that I know, looking at this, what everything is. So it's going to be a default of 1, but we also want to say, just right at the beginning, if min rooms is less than 1, just set min rooms equal to 1. Because we don't want 0 or a negative, and really I could make this a uint. I can make all of these uints, so we shouldn't have negative numbers. Same with these because our plane starts at 0, 0, so. And I'll just do a, I'll undo all that and I'll do a quick int to uint. And I don't believe that breaks anything. What? Okay, so I have 11 errors. Well, 10 errors if I'm only looking at this page. Ah, this is still broken because this requires an int. Wait. Cast that like that. Okay. And then similarly, obviously it's not that important, but if we're not using the unit, if we're not using negative numbers, there's no point and even letting the compiler see negative numbers, because that has the potential to break some things. So it's about letting the compiler alert us if we're doing something wrong right off the bat. That should be. Oh, I want these to just be ints. And I don't like that random.next is forced like that, but oh well, I didn't write the random library, so. And again, this is looking for a uint. Sorry. Index is looking for an int. And we'll just do this, and this. There we go. Thank you, Justin. Thank you for once again calling me a nerd. Good to see you. Okay. So that's that. And so now we're not using any negative numbers, which is good. That gives us, what is it, 64,000 more on both sides, which hopefully you don't have a room that's 64 by 64,000, but the option is there. Alright. And once again, let's test it. That's a pretty big, ooh, like that. Now see, this I have no idea why this is happening. Like, because these are, right. Because now those are uints. And then we'll do this, and uint, and that. So again, it's looking for an index. Index has to be, damn it, I want that to be int. There we go. Indexes have to be integers, which again doesn't make sense because why would you be accessing something at a negative index? That really doesn't make sense. Unless that's something I don't know about, but that just doesn't seem right. Okay, so now we'll test it, make sure everything still runs. You don't get the sexual pleasure of things working on the first try. Not this time. Yeah, it would be I don't know, the world might explode if something I develop works on the first try. I think that goes for any developer. Alright, so everything is still working just as planned. Perfect. So now, with that out of the way, let's think about how we want to do this, how we want to build out a dungeon. So we have the capability to build one room. That is what current form is doing. It is building a single dungeon room. So now what we need to do is place some above it, beside it, below it, to the other side of it, around those. So sort of in a fractal. So we would want sort of a fractal sort of room building. So we would start with one, maybe a random number of how many sides get a room beside it, and then same thing as we branch off and off and off to a maximum number of rooms that we would want to have. I think that makes sense. Pull up handy dandy paint real quick. So, just again to reiterate my thoughts and put it in a place that makes sense, in a medium that makes more sense. We have this is our current room, so we'll say S for starting. Now what we want to do is say, okay, generate a random number, let's say 2. So we'll create 2 rooms on either side. and from there it'd be randomly which side we pick, let's say left and right. So on the left we get a room, and on the right we get a room. Now for both of those, we have to generate a number. Let's say 1 over here and 3 over here. Something very drastically different. So over here, let's say the room goes out to this, down to the bottom. I was gonna do out to the side, and then realized that would be very phallic as I went on. So we'll say it generates 1 room to the bottom, and then this one generates 3, and there's only 3 sides available, so each side is going to get a room. I hope this still makes sense. So that's kind of the idea, and then whatever our maximum room. So we'll say in this case our maximum room number was 6. Once the last room is built, that reaches our maximum room count. So now we're done. This would be the dungeon. So that's kind of what I want to do in code. And another problem that will come up is the finding a side and finding an available number of rooms to place down. So obviously in this case we can place 4 from the starting room. We can place 4 rooms. From that point it goes down, so on either side we can only place 3 rooms. 1, 2, 3. Teddy Bear Senpai, hello. I've never seen her on the channel before. If you like this kind of content, be sure to give my channel a follow. I've been trying to do this a lot more lately, and I also do some games with friends, mostly on the weekends or whenever I get a free moment. But yeah, thank you for stopping by the channel. So back to what I was saying then. So this room right here can only generate 3 rooms off of it at max, because the room to the right is already taken. I'm trying to learn coding, but I don't get some statements, such as if and what if. So, all right, we'll break away from this, do a quick little quick little lesson. So, if and what if? Well, what if I'm not familiar with? That might be a language thing. But if is easy. If is just asking a question. So in this case, we'll say like right here. This is my pseudocode for this project, so more English than programming. So what I'm asking is, if x is 0, or if my room size minus 1 is equal to x. That's all it is. If is just asking a question. Is it this? Cool. Then go on immediately from that and do this. Exactly. If statements are a question, and you're checking if that question is true. If you're checking to the answer to that question is true, basically. All right. So anyway, yeah. So 3 rooms at max, and in this case, and we wouldn't be able to place it here because this room already exists. And again with this room can generate 3 as well. 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here, but not 1 here. So that is some things to think about while we get into this. Oh, I lost everything. Let me pull that back up. Okay. Hey, Ryder. How are you, buddy? Okay. So let's ditch this if for statement. We don't want to loop through that way. We would want to go in a fractal style, like I said. Tired as all hell. I understand that feeling. And build room, we'll start with room 1. So this could be, so it's fractal, so this could be a recursive function. And we give it the ooh, sorry. Can you put an if statement into an else statement? Yeah, so an if statement would immediately follow an else. So here I have if, and then in this case an else if, which is asking another question. But you can do if and then else, and basically what that does is, if this isn't true, if whatever you're asking in the first one isn't true, do this instead. That is what an if else does. If else if will say, okay, well this wasn't true, so now check this, and then you can have any number of those, and then an else. So that's that. If else and if else format. You're getting me distracted, Teddy Bear Senpai. Okay. So yeah, so we can give build room the maximum room count so that it always has that. Right? No, we would give it, sorry. We'd give it the rooms count. Because this is our, sorry, it's alright, dude. It's all good. I appreciate the curiosity to learn. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy teaching people things. That made me sound like an asshole. Anyway, so yeah, so we don't want to send it the max rooms that we created up here. I guess this will be a little confusing with the naming, but this max rooms is just, okay, generate a random number of rooms that we can use between the min and the max. This max rooms for build room needs to be the number that gets generated, so rooms in this case. So that's what that would need to be. Yeah, here you go. Wait. Yeah, here you go. No one else showed today. If only Trey was cooler. What? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean by no one else showed today. I do know what you mean if I was cooler. But that's besides the point. I'm guess Trey is thinking. Yes, my name is Trey. That is, I am Trey. Trey is me. JK, love you, buddy. Yeah, okay, Raider. Okay. Okay. Um. Teddy Bear Senpai, thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. So this didn't want to click that. This is going to be a recursive function, which means we need a base case. Now, recursive functions, your base case is what's the best way to explain this? Your base case is going to be the statement that tells the function to end, and go return all the way back to the root of the recursion. So, in this case, if our room number is greater than the max rooms, so we want to, if it's still equal, we want to build that last room, and then the next time through, when it's one more, it needs to go away. Right? Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I just had to think about that. So right off the bat, then we'll check, we'll just check that base case. If room num is greater than, my voice is cracking like a prepubescent teenager. or rather a pubescent teenager. So if room num is max greater than maximum rooms, let's return. What do I want to return? I guess I could return. I could wait till it creates temp, and then return an empty temp, because it doesn't matter. It's empty. We're adding nothing into a list. So that's fine. I used to study at an IT education, but I failed, and I also had programming as a class, but my teacher didn't know anything about coding. I fell in love with game development as a wee lad, and I wanted to always make games. So I did it in high school. I started mine in high school, junior year at a career center, and then I'm currently going through to get my bachelor's degree. But I understand completely the sentiment of instructors not knowing much about coding, because in my time I have had a few of those as well, and it's not fun. It really isn't. Okay, so we have our base case for the function. So if we're greater, we're just going to end it. We're going to return and end it before we even get down to the rest of this. If it's not, so if room number is 1 and our maximum number of rooms is 2, we will go on. We'll generate our room width and height. We don't need this statement anymore. And we don't need this anymore. That was just for when we were doing the single room to display here, which means these will have to change, but we'll get to that. Hey AJ, good to see you. Welcome back to the dungeon generation. Big dummy is myself. I resonate with that statement completely. I relate to that. Okay, so the rest of this code is going to function as normal. For now, let's get rid of the door code, because we'll have to generate doors between rooms once we get to that point. There's a lot of... The more I talk, the more I realize that we didn't get done. I mean, we got a lot done. The basic room generation was important, because now we just copy that. Okay. So, once we build the room... Oh, shoot. Okay. No, this is fine. This is fine. Is this fine? I don't think this is fine. We do not want build room to be an IEnumerable of type T. We want it to be a void. I hope. It's not that hard to throw that back in, but... And then in this, just do return nothing. Oh boy. Oh boy, I'm hitting all the keys. I am fat thumbing the shit out of this today. I'm a millionaire. Yeah, I see you got the. I saw you got all 50 state Mountain Dew bottles. Good luck. I wish you the best of luck on that competition. Okay. So once we get through this, then we want to say, okay, let's generate a random number of rooms to create based on available walls. We'll start with basic. I'm already thinking ahead that we'll have to plan for the size of other rooms so that they don't collide and run into each other. But for now, let's just get the concept there. So yeah, generate a random number of rooms to create based on available walls. So this is where the room number can come in handy. We can check if room num, well, so we need a way to keep track of the other rooms that exist. I got it. I got it. I got it, says the person who probably doesn't got it. We are going to create a class called room. It's a good thing about object-oriented languages. They're object-oriented. And in that we want to include a list, a public list, right? Yeah, public list. No, public IEnumerable. Public list. This is the only thing using it. Of type T. Public list of type T, which I explained this in the last stream, but type T is just, hey, this is a generic. So, like we have ints or strings or chars for characters. T is just a generic. It can be anything. Similarly to object, where it can be anything, but it's a little bit, it's more for class declarations and the like. Like I could say object, or I can say T. In essence, they are the same thing. I will say this is tiles. Do a public property, that's fine. Get set. Okay. Then what we want is the adjacent rooms. So this is why I wanted to make a class, because then I can say, hey, public room of type T, public room of type T north, or we'll say to north. And if I didn't clarify it, I don't know if I did or not, this is framework for a top-down, two-dimensional dungeon, not 3D. So a lot of it will be literally cardinal compass directions, north, south, east, west. Not really thinking of anything in a 3D space. Public room of type T, to south, get set. To east and to west. Awesome. So now we have that. So now this gives us access, so we can, when we're creating the rooms, we can assign them to north, to south, to east, to west, and they can relate to each other that way. So now I can see the availability of the rooms. And I can check which rooms already have rooms attached to them. Awesome. So we created our room. So now and because of that, we'll do a room of type T last room. So that when we call this function, we'll set that equal to null, just by default. So that way, whenever we call this recursively, we have that last room, so that when we create the new room, we can say, hey, this room was created from this room. We'll have to plan for a direction, but we'll get there. I haven't written code yet. This is why I usually pseudocode, but now I'm kind of freeballing it, and that's not the best way to go about it. But here we are. Yeah, so I will use my pseudocode notepad here though. So generate a random number of rooms to create. So generate random number of rooms to create based on available walls. Okay, so we want to loop through each wall. So we're assuming it has 4. So for I equal to 0 or 1, I equal to 1. I less than or equal to 4. I plus plus. I could do 0, but it doesn't matter. So we're gonna check each room. And I have the facing directions, so I could do that. So switch I, and then say case facing dot north, because their enumerated list are created as integers, so I have that availability. So facing dot north, facing south, case facing east, and case facing west. Is what I can do there. And then just basically check if wall is available. If wall's available, add to list of available. So we can do a facing array of 4 that's just empty. Actually, we'll say no, we'll do a list because I don't want facing list. Okay. So that's that. It's gonna repeat for these. So let's just do that in code now. So like I said, create a list of facing. Called available. I realize this is a bit more scattered than last time. Last time was a little bit more organized, but now my brain is scattered. Because I've kind of been in refactor mode, and then I started making changes, so I jumped on to do this, so that way I had some documented changes. And now I'm in crazy mode. But it's okay. We will make do. So we have our list of available. And then, like I said, for int I equal to, we'll do 0 because enums start at 0. I less than 4, I plus plus. Switch I case facing dot north, which is 0, and that should work, right? Can I do int? And then let's just say break. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I can get the integer value of each facing. And let me just go to the definition of this real quick, and I'll just say cardinal directions. Control enter. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. Cardinal directions. There we go. I wanted to quickly update everything to be that. There. Now it's not facing, it's cardinal directions, and that's a little bit more understanding now the way I'm using it. We'll just copy paste. South, east, and west. And this just makes, because I could just do the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 0, 1, 2, 3, but this makes it readable. So I don't have to do so much commenting. We know, okay, hey, we're looking north, so we're checking the north wall. So if it's available, if... Oh, I gotta create the current room. Oh, mess. So I don't need this list of temp. I don't need this list of temp. Might as well keep the list of temp. Scatterbrained. Sorry, I apologize. What I do need is room of type T. Room equals new room of type T. And then after it's all done, I can say room dot tiles equal temp. There we go. So now I can say if room dot to north is not equal to null, I really don't need that there. I'll just say available dot add cardinal directions dot north. This is a bit of a funky way to do it, I realize, but hey, that's where we're at. We're in the funk. And I'm just going to copy paste just because I'm lazy. No real rhyme or reason. And then, so room to south, to east, and to west. I also should have probably said this in the last one. I probably should have said this at the beginning. Don't take this as a tutorial. If you're really hoping to learn something, I hope you do, but don't expect this to be a walkthrough of how to do this. Because that's not what this is. I'm genuinely trying to do this for a project and kind of just taking you guys along with the ride. But if you learn something, great. But that's not my intention of this. This is just more for fun and to document my work. So that's why I'm moving a little bit more sort of haphazardly, I guess, through it. That's sort of my... I'm going at my own flow. Okay. Now that that's out of the way. Let's take all this and extract it to a method. Let's call that method find availability. Apply. Okay. I love that, by the way. I love that little feature. It's great. So that's finding our availability. So we can say list, let's do var so that I don't have to retype all that. Var avail ability equals find availability. Cannot assign void to an, return availability, return available. And then, ooh, this is static. I don't want that to be static. I don't want that to be static. And then list of cardinal directions. There we go. Okay, so that's our availability. So from that, var rooms to add equals ran.next between 1, so we should, let's do 0. Let's do 0. Let's have the potential to not generate a room. 0 and availability dot count 0 or 0 or 4. Yeah, that's fine. I'm thinking worst case, we get 4 of these. All 4 of these are available. So, yeah, generating between potentially 0 and 4. That's fine. Okay. So that gives me the rooms to add, so any number, and then I can just go for int I equal to 0, I less than rooms to add, I plus plus. And then from there we say build room. With all the same functions, so we send it I, right? Or we would want to send it I plus room number? Yeah, I plus room. Or I plus room num. Because if we're room 1, and then we generate another, so I would be 1, right? We will make I 1. So we're making I 1 here. That's not to say we're generating 1 room every time. We're just saying we're starting our counting at 1. And then we'll do less than or equal to rooms to add. So if it's 0, if we get a rooms to add of 0, it won't run because it's not less than or greater than, it's more than. So it will skip over this. So that's still fine. So now, yeah. So if I and room num, so if room num is 1, we generate another room off of that. That becomes 1 plus 1, so 2. Okay. And then max rooms. No, not max rooms. Sorry. Yeah, max rooms. Sorry. Again. Max rooms. Start X. Start Y. Min width. Min max width. Min height. Max height. And then, so we can say that this room was our last room. Yeah. Why? Because you're an int. That's why. There we go. Okay. So that's good. And that'll check everything. So now we need to check the... No, we need to... Okay. Okay. Oh, so I need to be able to... Oh, I got it. Sorry. I need to be able to set the room that I created here as the room of a direction to this one. And then I need to set the room... I need to set this room as a room to a direction of this one. But I can do that from inside here with this. So, and these are sent by reference, so yeah, that'll work. Right? We'll do it just in case. Okay, wait. Argument 9 may not be passed. Oh, because I don't... Right. A ref or out parameter cannot have a default value. Well, father mucker. Okay. I believe classes are sent by reference, So that is not a problem, right? No, it's a problem. They are not sent by reference. They could very well be sent by reference, and I could probably Google it. Or I'll Google it. RC sharp classes sent by reference, because it depends on the language you're using. Parameters and script. Okay, so classes are sent by value, but structures are sent by reference. Ooh, okay, weird. Usually it's the other way around, but whatever. I guess that makes sense. C++ sends the object by... Yeah, C++ sends it by copy as well, by value. So that makes sense. So I was wrong. Okay. Anyway, my shortcomings aside. So the original build room can just say null. That's fine. Right? Default T? I don't want to create a new object is the thing. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. Alright. Now, fellas. Oh, I really don't want to do this. No, I really don't want to do this. Oh, forgive me, C# gods. Forgive me, John Skeet. I'm gonna copy it. Get rid of the parameter up here. And only use it down here. Okay. Now what's your problem? Cannot convert from void to... Right. Your problem is I am not keeping up with myself. Okay. There we go. So now the problem becomes... I would have to maintain this code every single time. Both of them, both code sets. So that's not ideal for a recursive function. Especially because I'm probably going to have to make changes here soon. Let's... Why won't you let me send null? Or nullable of room of type T. Will that work? No. That just lets me nullify it. Wait, could I do... Could I say that this is a nullable class? No. Okay, I'm not 100% on how nullable works, but put a question mark there, right? Gotta break anything? No. Now if I say null. So if I do this, so I can say null now, right? Father mucker. Cannot convert from null to ref t or referent t. Can I do can I do null t? Is that what I can do? No. Okay, let me... Is it a reference thing? Is that what it is? Can I not use the reference variable with null? Does it have to exist? Ah, it's reference. Reference is the problem. rooms is the problem. What if I put the literally ref in front of it? Alright, I was hopeful. So I'll create a new room. And then I'll pass room. And then instead of, yeah, so then instead of creating it, we'll use last room. Doesn't change much, so that's no problem. Nope, I'm an idiot. It doesn't change anything because we still want to create a new room. Right? Yeah, we want to create a new room. Yeah. And then basically check so we'll create a, so we'll do, yeah, so we want to check, again, I'm haphazard. This is, should be easier than it is, but I'm kind of dumb. Okay, so if room, what was I doing? If room num is not equal to 1, so if we're not on the first room, then go ahead and say room dot. So now we need a direction. Cardinal directions. I can get rid of this now. I don't need this. Cardinal directions. Last room dir. Right? Yeah, we'll do last room. So we'll go off of what the last room was. Sorry, my ear itches. And then we'll do another switch that just says, hey, switch based off of last room dir. Case. Case. What? Oh. There we go. Case, cardinal directions dot north. Break. Copy. North, south, east, and west. So if the last direction was north, then room dot to north. Yeah, so if the last direction was north, that means we created this one to the south of it. Equals last room. Okay. To south. Nope. 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 I got that backwards already. To south. To north. East. Ah, almost did it again. And east. East and east. So if you're paying attention, that was north, south, south, north, east, east, west. Sorry, east, west, east. Okay. So now we're setting the last room, but we also want to set that room. We're setting it by reference, so we might as well say last room dot to north Ah, no, I got it backwards. I was right the first time. This room, we're looking towards the north. The other room, we're looking the opposite direction. My bad again. So this one, we're saying, okay, so this room's to the south of us, so the last room we want to set, yeah, equals room. It's a fucking bug, go away. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, that being my idiocracy, so north, west, and east. Perfect. And break that into its own function because I can and because I like to keep it a little bit clean. Am I returning something with that? I don't want to be. Set adjacent. Set adjacency. I don't want to be setting anything like that. Yeah, I'm not returning anything. I don't know. Oh, I am. Why is it returning last room? Okay, that's fine. No, that's not fine. Because we want to return room in that case as well. So we want these both to be sent by reference. Hell of an order I put this in. So room, last room, and then room num. Yeah, we need room num. There we go. 2 east, god damn it. Okay. You're not returning anything anymore. I don't want you to be static either. Jeez. And then this is now out of order. You're out of order. Attica, Attica. Okay. There we go. Room and last room. Which need to now be sent by ref. Now what's your problem? Now you're not setting anything. That's why. That's your problem. It's a valid problem. Oh, got rid of the whole line. Oh, okay. Whitley Moore 45. Thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, so now I need to set a... so now I need to set a direction. So now, okay, for each room... No, no, these are all the available rooms. So we got a random availability based on that, right? Yeah. So now we just say, enum dot parse cardinal directions I dot toString. Weird that it has to be a string, but oh well. Sorry. Type of cardinal directions, right? Expected. Oh, type of needs parentheses. Now which problem? Cannot convert from object to... Not the best way, again. But it is a way. It's not wholly wrong. For fuck's sake. Oh, it's slick. Okay. For fuck's sake. This is what you do when we're not getting coffee with Alan. Yeah. This is it. This is all I do. Exactly this. thank you for calling me out like that. Jeez. Okay, so I think that's good then. So we're sending it the last direction. Ooh, I'm gonna hate myself. I might have to go back and change that. I haven't done anything programming related since high school, and I honestly miss it some days. Yeah, that's how I've been. Like I haven't done anything that's not work related or school related. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take some time and just do something that is fun for me. So I've been doing this. Yeah, but I understand that feeling completely. Completely. Okay, so I need to flip these around. Because here I'm not sending it what this room is facing. I'm sending it what it's going to be, the residence thing. That didn't make sense. That was hardly English, but yeah. I need to reverse these, and that's all that matters. What are you making? This is a dungeon generation script program, library, something or other, whatever you want to call it. My buddy and I are going to try and make a dungeon crawler game. So I would like I just kind of want to try my hand at making a procedural generation dungeon builder. I'm sure there's some out there, but this is how I learned, by just doing it. So yeah, that's what this is. To east and to west. Okay. So I think that's good. This is good. Good, good, good. Set adjacency needs to be... No, set adjacency is fine being out here. Okay. Oh, why are you mad? Oh, because you need a direction. We will give you cardinal direction .north because it literally doesn't matter. Actually, I probably put null for that. Because you're not by reference. I tried. Alright. Okay. So it doesn't matter for the first iteration. Base case. Okay. We want rooms. We want to check rooms to add. And make sure it's not greater than the maximum room count. And if it is, set it equal to the maximum room count. I just figured out a problem with this. We'll come across that problem in a bit, I am sure. But for now, let's run it and see what happens. I think it's still only going to generate one room because I don't think I changed that. Or nothing. It'll do nothing. Right. Because I'm not returning anything anymore. And because this is all commented out. Didn't break though, so I guess that's not inherently bad. But now we gotta figure out how to get the rooms we create back out to the dungeon. Oh, we already do. Because we create that room and we send it by reference. So we already have it. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. You'd want some kind of... No, we can just... I'm an idiot. I never claimed to be smart. We can just return room. Because it's already going to have all those room objects on it. So literally we just need to return this. This is our root. We can access everything from that. Probably not the best, but... How many times have I said that this stream? Inconsistent accessibility. Right. Okay. For now, we'll do that. I'll probably come back and change that later, but for now, we'll do that. And then... our room equals that. And... let's just... yeah. Sorry. Went quiet there, I was just thinking. I won't display it right now. I'll just check to see that room looks sort of as I would expect. And it doesn't. And it's completely empty. Okay. So let's see what went wrong. So create one room. Let's step into this. Oh right, cause yeah, that's fine. I'm amazed it didn't break, but no, it wouldn't have because we're doing I plus room num down here. Okay, so room with the 5 and 5. Why did we place a wall? We didn't. Okay. So let's go through the end of this. We already know that this works. Temp has 5? Right, because we finished the first line. Okay, there we go. Okay, so temp has 25, so that's a 5 by 5. Perfect. So let's set our adjacency, which room num is equal to 1, so we're not going to do anything. Perfect. Room.tiles equals temp. Okay, awesome. Availability equals find availability. Oh, that's wrong. Just, by the way, if it is null, we want to add it. I don't know why I stopped. I don't know why I stopped that. I could have just changed that, but oh well. Okay, so this works. We know this works. And we know this works. So availability, yeah, I should have all 4 because it's the first room, so everything is available. Rooms to add, 2. If it's greater than the max rooms, which is 1. Rooms equals max rooms. And then we step into this. Room num is greater now, so we just return. Okay. So now room should have, yeah, tile count of 25. Right, yeah, okay. Room should have... What's the point of sending it by reference? What the heck? So sending it by reference did absolutely nothing. Oh, what the heck? Okay. Why? Why did that do absolutely nothing? It was sent by reference. It should have done something. It should have 25 tiles in it. I don't get it. Right? Oh, wait. Let's do this in set adjacency, but okay, I got it. So we created a new room variable up here, but we're sending it last room. But because it's the first room, we're not doing anything with that. So we're going to say if it's not equal to 1, then do this. If it is, last room equals the current room. Okay. That's why. So we know this all works. So now if we look at room, we should have 25 tiles. Perfect. And they all look correct. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So now let's take that up. Let's say max rooms 2, min rooms 2. Like we want 2 rooms. Let's see what happens. Room. Aha! Awesome. Okay. So this created 25 tiles, 5x5 room, and it created a second room, room to the south. So when I open this, room to the north should be this one. Awesome. That's awesome. And just for sort of verification, we'll set the ID of that room as well. Okay. So now we know it works. We're verifying that it is actually working correctly. Okay, this time it didn't create any rooms. That's fine. So let's run it again. Well, it created the first room, I should say. It didn't create any after that. Okay. So we see 25, 2 south, number 2, and 2 north, number 1. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. That is awesome. Alright, big test. Let's do 4. Let's just see if it can create 4 rooms. And we might run into the problem that I talked about earlier. So this created 1 room. This created 1 room. This created 1 room. And this didn't. Okay. Created 4 rooms. That's awesome. So why did it only do... Let's run it again. Let's make sure that wasn't a weird goings on. That's much better. Okay. Why can't I no longer open my thing? Because I broke it? Okay. I don't really want to stop execution, but... Okay, please go away. Okay. Not sure what I did there. I really hope this room has multiples on it. Awesome. Okay. Tile to east. Not only that didn't create anything off of it, has an ID of 3. Tile to west 1. Okay. Tile to south, ID number 2. And that didn't create anything off of it. And then, okay. Not bad. So that created 3 rooms. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, so that created 3 rooms then. Okay. So if we say 5 rooms, we'll just create one on all 5 sides. On all 5 sides. All 4 sides. No. Okay. Cool. So this doesn't create anything except for on the west. And then to the south, we have 2 more rooms. So then to the north should be 1. Yep. To the east creates another room. So to the west should be 2. To the south, and then to the north should be 4. Yep. Perfect. And then... yeah. Okay. Okay. That's awesome. So we have those created, but if we go back to paint, technically speaking, those are not getting created like this. They are in our code, you know, 2 north, 2 south, 2 east, 2 west. But if we were to lay those coordinates out, they are all on top of each other because they all have the same starting point. So, well, I guess that's not, no, that's fine. I mean, because they all have their own separate tiles, so in theory then you could take the tile object and loop through it to get everything off of it that you would want. Okay. Alright. Obviously didn't get that much done, but we did figure out this. I think I'm going to leave that here. I think that's going to be a good stopping point for the stream. Otherwise, I'm going to delve further into chaos, and this is never going to get... the stream is never going to end. But yeah, thank you everybody who stopped by to watch. It means a lot. And I hope people are enjoying this series. And I hope people are taking stuff away from this that is helpful to them. But yeah. Thank you for watching. I'll try to do more of these. Definitely going to continue to do this. at least until this project is this dungeon project is done. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and peace out, guys.